Sexual offences are a broad category of criminal acts that can be differently defined depending on the country. There are a number of offences that are classed as sexual. Examples of these include voyeurism, frotteurism, prostitution, child pornography, rape, child sex abuse, and incest. To be convicted of a sexual act in Australia, 4 elements must be established. 1. Sexual activity has to have occurred without the consent of the victim. 2. The defendant must have been aware that the victim did not consent to the act. This element is the most frequently debated and often difficult to prove. 3. The defendant's acts cannot have been involuntary, and 4. The sexual activity occurred at the same time as the defendant was aware no consent had been given. Numerous theories have been proposed over time as to the motivational impetus of sex offense behavior, typically looking at the etiology or the range of factors influential in perpetuating such behavior. Traditional theories often cited poor family environments characterized by abuse and neglect lead to poor attachment and guidance. Despite the prevalence of this view, evidence to back it up has been poorly supported in the literature. Within these theories, the 1979 Groth typologies and the integrated theory of sexual offending are 2 of the most prominent. However, at the current time, scientific research has not strongly supported any one model. Predicting recidivism in sexual offenders has been the subject of considerable research, with some commentators describing it as notoriously difficult and often inaccurate. Within the field of sexual recidivism assessment, most research has tended to focus on statistical correlates of recidivism. The formalized assessment of such factors is known as actuarial risk assessment. Rick Hansen, believed by many to be the most prominent researcher in the field, has designed one such tool called the Static 99 based on his 1998 meta-analysis of risk factors. Factors found to be correlated with increased risk include being younger, male, having a greater criminal history and more varied types of offences, and being single. More recent assessment tools have also sought to include dynamic risk and protective factors, although such research is still in its infancy. Although early indications around the efficacy of sex offender treatment were not promising, later reviews have shown moderate improvements in the risk of reoffense. This appears to be particularly the case with cognitive behavioral treatment models. A study conducted by Dew and Goldman in 2009, which looked at the treatment outcomes in a large matched sample of sex offenders released from Minnesota prisons between 1990 and 2003, found strong evidence for their treatment programs. They reported that entering treatment reduced the risk of recidivism by 27%, and completing treatment reduced this by a further 33%.